Alright, it's time for another video and another mission and maybe some more learning. Alright, so this mission looks to be a little different than our last. Unfortunately, it's still this low 500 ISK reward. And it is a courier mission, which are our common missions. Um, we have to drop off the pilot certification documents.
It's time for you to leave this solar system, pilot. Start by setting your destination in the mission window.
Although we can always do this later from our journal, it is good before you undock. Go ahead and right-click on the location where you have to go, whether it's a kill mission, courier mission, whatever. If it's out of your solar system, hit set destination. It'll make it easier after you do undock to figure out where you need to go. And Aura's probably going to tell us our next step here. Oh, or not. So all we have to do is right-click on the yellow gate, which is marked because it's our destination, so it's letting us know where we need to go next. And we can hit jump, and it's going to automatically warp us to 0 and then jump through the gate. We could hit autopilot. That's going to warp us to 15 kilometers from the gate, travel to within 2,500 meters, and then jump. So if we do it manually, whenever we're traveling, we're going to get there quicker and safer. Autopilot can be nice if you're not in a ship of value and not carrying anything and going through high sec and you want to just AFK travel. That's definitely an option.
There are over 5,000 systems in the known universe, and all of them are connected by stargates. By setting a destination in your ship's computer, you make it easier to navigate the network of stargates. Undock when you are ready. To get to your destination, warp to the Stargate lead. Once you have arrived at the Stargate, jump through to the next solar system. Click Next when you have arrived.
So the two main forms of travel you've already seen, which is warping, which is used to travel around within a given solar system, and now you've seen jumping, which takes us to other solar systems. Let me go ahead and figure out where we need to go here next. So we can see we have oh, an encounter actually. I expected us to be picking this document up from a station, so I was a little thrown off that we were going to an encounter again. There are other ways of traveling. Capital ships and some other types of ships have the ability to jump, in which they go several systems at a time in a single jump, but that's a more advanced topic. It would be a very long time before I'd be in any type of ship that could really be taking part in that type of thing.
You've arrived at the Academy. Good work. Now, approach the Academy and retrieve your certification documents from inside.
So I'm having trouble seeing exactly where she wants me to go, so I'll sort my overview by distance, and I see this nice nearby academy. Cargo container. That's what that little diamond icon means, is that it's a cargo container which can be opened, as opposed to the T-type icons, which means they are ships. The larger the icon, the larger the ship. So we have smaller frigate, cruiser, battleship, or freighter-sized ships all flying around right here. These white ones are all NPC ships, which means that you'll probably never really ever interact with them unless they're trying to blow you up because you just attacked somebody in high sec. So we go ahead and drag this to our cargo hold the same way we did with the clearance documents.
You may want to take a closer look at this fleet of ships. The Look At function allows you to get a closer view from one of your camera drones.
I can't say I ever really used the Look At feature, so we'll go ahead and choose one of these larger ships and hit Look At. and we see one of these NPC ships here, which is a Roke battleship. If we were to do something bad and start shooting at this ship, it would definitely shoot back at us and very quickly destroy us, but we won't do that.
The Show Information command can give you detailed information on anything you have selected.
And we did the show info. And
now
took a
you
look
need
at
to
that.
return to the system you came from. The system name will be displayed in your mission journal, which stores information about any active missions you have. Open the mission journal now.
So we could go through the mission journal. Of course, I remember the name of the system that we just came from. So by right-clicking, I can go to Stargates, choose our Stargate, and hit jump. As opposed to having to go into the journal, which under the Agents tab will then list your missions. And then we could look up our destination right here, and just like we did earlier, right-click and hit Set Destination, which then made the gate yellow for us, make it a little easier to see.
Set the destination to your... Now the destination is set. Warp to the highlighted Stargate and jump back through to your starting system. Speak with me again at the station to complete the mission.
And so we'll go ahead and jump through. And we will go ahead and choose to dock with our station. We can see we did use up 15 rounds of ammo. We can go ahead and right-click on our weapon, hit reload, and it's going to go ahead and plus us up to our full complement of 200 rounds that we can fit in the small blaster. Something that's good to be in the habit of is keeping an eye on local channels. Not so important when you're going through high-sec systems like this and you're in an NPC corp, but eventually if you're in a regular corp and perhaps there's a war deck against you, or you're going through systems that are not as safe, definitely a good idea to know who you're with. Since we're in a starter system like this, pretty much everybody in here is also a new player.
Docking requested. Docking request accepted.
And we'll go ahead and start a conversation with our agent, and as long as we have our item that we had to pick up in our cargo hold, we'll be able to complete mission.
Excellent work. You've now learned all of the basics a capsule pilot needs to know. Now that you've covered the essentials, you're ready to complete more advanced courses. Throughout each course you will be rewarded with more money and items than you'll be able to make elsewhere, and completing the courses will also reward you with new ships. There are a number of courses available, from combat to exploration to industry and more. Speak with me again when you're ready to begin.
So we'll go ahead and accept another mission. It looks like
To
we're going
reach
to
your
be...
new agents, you will need to jump through multiple stargates before arriving at your destination. Use the Set Destination command to guide you along the correct route and then dock at the station where they are located.
Okay, so we can see that the clearance papers that we got earlier are going to be required for this mission. We can see they're already in our cargo hold, or at least in the station with us by the check mark. If I'm not mistaken, they'll still be right here in our IBIS inventory, the clearance documents, and so we need to pick them up from Kissigo where we are and go to that system, which I will undock and start traveling to now. Now, if I understand correctly, the next set of missions are going to actually give me some options as far as what to do next, as opposed to just learning these basic skills. I'm actually going to get to choose if I want to take on courier missions or mining missions or combat missions, and I'm going to actually try and go down as many of those arcs as possible, just sort of see what the different options available to somebody who's just starting out are and what they can actually expect to encounter. So this is an example of where we could use our autopilot, although it's actually not too bad. Our route only has 3 jumps in it, and they're all very high security. Let's say we wanted to walk away from the computer for 5 or 10 minutes, this would be perfectly fine to hit autopilot. Once you start flying in more valuable ships or you have more valuable cargo, don't entirely rely upon being in high security space. There are definitely people who will suicide themselves for the sake of blowing up your ship and getting the wonderful, wonderful loot that may be inside of it.
Warp drive active.
So though they will lose their ship, their friend will be more than happy to scoop up yours and their loot and perhaps profit on your destruction. Of course, while we're in a new player ship like this, not so much profit to be made. And now, although I haven't yet, there's a lot of customization that you can do on your overview. One of the nice features is the ability to add additional tabs. So we'll just name this one X for now. Let's go ahead and start our next jump. But we can go ahead and make this new tab, and then we can load a different overview profile. So for instance, we could load a mining profile in here. And now this is only going to show us asteroids, so that if we were mining and we had asteroids nearby us, we could see which asteroids were available without the clutter of all the different stations. Generally, if you're PvPing, you might have a profile for that, a separate one for PvE, one for incursions, one for each thing, just to really optimize your interface to be able to react as quickly as possible and only have what you truly need available to you. But for right now and what we're doing, really not too much need to be customizing our inventory, or our overview. In addition to the right-click context menus, you also, after you select a left-select an item, get context-specific menus on what you want to do. So instead of right-clicking on the station I'm about to dock at, I can left-click and select it and then choose the dock button instead. Does the same thing, just a different way. Different people will find one quicker than the other. We can also do that with other player ships and choose to orbit them or warp to them or approach them. And you can also set the defaults for when you choose, for instance, to orbit, exactly how far we should be orbiting. Right now, given our blasters and their short range, I'm going to go ahead and set that to 500. We'll want to be orbiting in our optimal range, and we are in a pretty nimble craft that should be able to maintain such a short orbit.
Docking request accepted.
And I just realized I left my shield booster at that other station. I hope I don't have a need to go back for that. Ah well. And so we talked to Aura again. Oh no. It appears that my clearance documents may be different than my clearance papers, and that I may have left an item in my item hanger. And I'm gonna have to go back and get it, along with my shield booster. Well, isn't that upsetting? Alright, well, while I do that, we'll go ahead and call this the end of this video, so you don't have to be bored watching me fly back and forth. So, I will see you next video.